actually. Okay. Good night. Good Friday. It is not Friday Eve. We look rested today. Yeah, we look rested. What is good, everybody? What is good? What's good? What's good with you? Yeah. We here. Yeah, we here. We big here. We big here. Yeah. Let's get our... Well, before we even jump to the disclaimer. My mouse. Not acting right. Like I was saying. Yeah. Let me see. Am I logged in already as I set up, guys? Yeah. So yes, we will be talking about College Higher Education. They had some headlines talking about in today's with their topics that I like the most. Of course, I like talking about the financial a little bit side of higher ed, but really, I like to talk about the interpersonal things as well. But apparently, there has been, as they said, some financial pain for thee, but not for me. So, as we know, as we talk about on this channel, college presidents are getting paid while budget cutting and shrinkage of their college is happening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we are going to talk about that. It is pretty interesting because it is getting... This one is... Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I didn't even know about this. So as I go into my chat right quick, y'all, because I'm just don't want to jump straight in right quick. Is my chat working? Just gotta make sure. It'd be hard days when I'll be working. All right. And I got my LinkedIn up in case I pivot, because I might pivot. All right. So apparently, what school is this? It says Pennsylvania State University. Let me look them up. I never heard of Pennsylvania State University. Like I said, it's so many colleges. So many. Let's see. Pennsylvania State University. It's a land grant university in, if I said it right, the Central County, Pennsylvania. What's their logo? Like and subscribe. I think this... Oh, wow. The one with the... Oh, Pennsylvania State University. Penn State. Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, it's about them. Okay, so y'all know the navy blue school? Interesting. I didn't know it was going to be about them. I should have put that in the headline. Did not know it was going to be about them. Okay. So, Pennsylvania State University. Right now, they said they are in the vanguard of budget cutting and flagship first thinking. It was making such changes based on enrollment patterns long before the Trump administration arrived. Shout out to Chronicle Higher Education for mentioning that. So they said they were making changes to their school based on their enrollment patterns. They haven't been having good enrollment, I guess, as we keep finding out. And it said, and they've been, well, before Trump administration arrived and started reshaping federal funding, which that applies to most schools. Because most people think that the Trump administration is the reason why their college is doing what's happening or what's happening to their college, when in fact that is not the case. It is really that you just haven't been running your institution correctly. And of course, you don't have nobody out here putting it on the front page or making making other people aware, like, oh, this school hasn't been doing what they supposed to be doing. Yeah, they've been running things on broken fundamentals for a good amount of time. And that's why you're, as a parent or family or higher ed professional, you didn't really think about it, which is understandable, or pay attention to it. And then you got the effects of it when you could have avoided it if you have known about this incoming. So Pennsylvania State University, it says the university is closing 7 regional campuses at the end of next year, What does that mean? So at the end of 2026 of next year, they're going to close 7 regional campuses. So anything that if you have been attending that regional campus, not the main campus, that regional campus is about to go away. So that means it can make it harder for you to have access to the institution. You might think that's not important. That's really important. And where is my journal? I got books. I see my books. I just got books. Books. Sounds like buzz. Books. So, sorry. Where's my pen? I guess we'll write a pencil, but I won't write too much. People can erase things. Is it? It's a cool pen, ain't it? I got like rope on it and everything. All right. So I had to, I like to write stuff down. So yeah, they're gonna close 7 regional campuses, and then they said in doing that, when they close those 7 regional campuses, this process will likely involve layoffs. I was about to say a layoff. Layoffs. Last year 383 employees took buyouts last year. So Chronicle Higher Education, based in with my judgment, are saying we could lay off some people. They can lay off some people. So that's gonna be interesting, right? And so let's go to the next one. Yet President Nelly, I'm butchering his name, Benda. I'm just gonna put it in there. So the college president of Pennsylvania State University, for my people who want to go there, shout out to Pennsylvania State University, because Dan Ives goes there, or went there. He went there. Dan Ives went to that school. He's a very noble, one of those noble alumni. Let me see if he pops up. He doesn't even pop up. That's a noble alumni. Can't trust Google sometimes, I tell you. So I'm going to say Natalie is the president of Pennsylvania State University, aka Penn State, for my people out there. According to Google, they say she is the 19th president of Penn State University from 2018 until 2021. Huh. Let me see. So is she the current president there or not? Let me see. Because they make it seem like until 2021. So who is the current? It's really good for you all too, FYI, for my people out there who are not in higher education and plan on going to college. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's really important for you to know your college president. You might think it's not important. It's important. I think that's I feel like that is an indicator as a student, staff, higher ed professional, whichever you are, outsider. It's very important for you to know who your college president is, because whatever their vision and mission and changes they want to make or plan on doing, like if they plan on changing things, you should be aware. If they just plan on riding with the same plan the last president had, kind of, I guess you just have to base it off the last one, but the president does matter. The current president of, what's this, Pennsylvania? I'm gonna just say Penn State University for shorter. That's what they're known as. Okay, yeah, she is. Okay, Natalie is the current Penn State University president. All right, she's still president. So she began her tenure as 19th president of Penn State in May 2022. So she's freshly in there. And so they actually said, so remember before I said that they're going to close like 7 regional campuses, which means more layoffs are going to happen. Like and subscribe. So she just received a $450,000 pay raise. And her pay raise is now, her pay is now $1.4 million. So for my people who don't think college presidents gets paid, zoom the camera in on me on that one. So She is eligible for annual performance bonuses, retention bonuses, supplemental retirement contributions, and charter jets. Then y'all, I bet y'all didn't know these. Hey, I told y'all these college presidents be moving different. I be telling y'all, they move different. They got that. And it's interesting because if you go look at any university president, they get paid. But at the same time, they will, I guess, shrink their college. Like, it's different avenues to it. The reason they could be shrinking their college is because they want more of their students to feel close at home. They want them to feel close knitted. They probably try to build more of a community school versus having so many campuses, right? And so this can actually be a reason for them to, like, let's cut some of these other campuses out if we don't have many students there. And then what they do with their money, I can't vouch for what they do with the money because money is money. And when I hear people like Obama say that's why we have endowment funds, and I talk to other higher ed professionals and they be like, I don't know what they're doing with the money. It doesn't make sense why these people get paid like this and they get paid like this. Hey, not my problem. Like I said, I'm gonna get my money out the market. I'm not gonna trip. Y'all can figure that out, but I'm not finna beg. And I'm letting you know now, I'm younger than a lot of the higher ed professionals. So, personal problem, as I like to say, PP. So, it says right here for context, Penn State professors pay average. Okay, so Penn State professors pay average is $113,000 a year. Very good. That's pretty good. At the flagship University Park campus in 2023. I think that's one of the campuses getting cut. I think that's one of the campuses getting cut. Let's see if they got an article attached to it. And then it says, all right, we got a quote. It's just really hard to digest, said Andrea Adolph, an associate professor of English at Penn State at the New Kingston. Oh, one of the closing campuses. So I get Andrea, who was one of the associate professors of English. Bless me. So Andrea is one of the associate professors, as we said, but that campus is closing. So I guess she won't have a job. She says it's really hard to digest, but we don't know if they can move her to the main campus. She's an associate professor. I feel like she would be good. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows, right? Let's see. All right. Okay, this is the old article. They attached the old article. We could look at that, but let's keep going. So then it says right here that, to be sure, some leaders share colleges' financial pain. I'm going to say that one more time. To be sure, some leaders share colleges' financial pain. Southern Oregon University president, Southern Oregon University. Have y'all heard of that institution? I never heard of that institution. Let me see. Southern Oregon. Let me see. I love when we talk about president's pay and pay structure. So Southern Oregon University, they are in Ashland, Oregon. Have I heard this institution before? I believe I have not. No, I have never heard this institution at all. Interesting. Wait. No, I don't think we heard this institution. To be sure, leaders share colleges' financial pain. Southern Oregon University president agreed to cut his. Oh, we did talk about him. I said I don't. I thought I was about to say, I think I heard that school. I remember that. So the Southern Oregon University president, which is he is actually one of the lowest paid presidents, actually, that I know of, to be at a university. He agreed to cut his he agreed to cut his salary by $290,000. That's about 20%. Jeez, kid. And then Oregon Public Broadcasting reported in July. Yeah, I remember that. It says several Ivy League administrators said they'll take pay cuts this year. Because pay cuts, it seems ideal. I'm not saying everybody needs to take a pay cut because some things could be closed down. Some things could be restructured. I'm not saying people won't lose their jobs, but the pay structure just does not make sense. And higher ed professionals will say that. Will they say it on camera? Probably not. But they will say it behind closed doors, like, hey, you know, I should go be a coach at this losing football, basketball, volleyball, whatever program because they get paid way more to have a losing program, which doesn't make sense. If you want to be a coach, I was saying that to my coworkers the other day when we was at the training. I was saying that. I was like, man, if I was in the industry and I wasn't performing, you gave me a performance review, you'll fire me. But if I have a bad performance review as a coach, just saying, higher education pertaining, I get multiple years to fix it. Just saying, just saying. These college coaches out here got terrible because they be like, oh, they drive revenue. Some of y'all not even packing out the stands to be factual and punctual. So just a little brain dead, I think. Leaders don't think stuff through sometimes. A lot of them get in position because they know somebody. So they're not really qualified for their position. Shots fired a little bit. They're not really good at their position. Because if you was really good at your position, you would have them enrollment numbers turning over consistently, and they ain't turning. A lot of them ain't turning over them numbers. So, such pay cuts could even drive away top talent, for sure. Their argument continues. Penn State trustees applaud Nelly. I'm gonna just say Nelly, which is Penn State University president. They applaud her performance, and they said President Nelly has led the university to a balanced budget and more than $560 million through philanthropic commitments, which is good because president's jobs are to raise money. That is a president's job, to raise them funds. And so that was quoted by David M. Kellebinger, chair of the board, said in a statement. The bigger picture, the K-shaped economy right here, this is their bigger picture. The K-shaped economy has arrived in full force for higher ed, and executives can sometimes be handsomely rewarded for doing unhappy work like cutting budgets. The median president made 6 times as much as the median faculty member in 2022, up from 5 times as much a decade earlier, the Chronicle found. So they said, what is pushing up presidential salaries? Drill deeper into the Chronicle's analysis. I kind of do want to dig into that a little bit, actually. I'm mad they put that at the bottom. So before we dive into the full story of that, and that's going to be our main topic, some quick hits by Chronicle Higher Ed. Shout out to them because I do get it from them mainly right now. And unless I go on LinkedIn and get my own stories and find my own stories. University of Florida tops new conservative rankings. According to the Manhattan Institute City Journal, used 68 factors to evaluate 100 institutions that score highly on other lists. So pretty much University of Florida tops the new conservative rankings. Few Black Hispanic freshmen at Harvard. It says this year's first year class is 11.5% Black, a decline from 14% last year. The class of 2023. So the class of 2023, the last admitted before the Supreme Court banned race-conscious admissions, was 18% Black. If I said that right, I read that right. And so for everyone who wants to see that, I know some people might say, what did he just say? What did he just read? And then last year. It says, though institutions have been slow to release demographic breakdowns this year, the figures appear consistent with overall trends at selected colleges. Interesting. So, as I go over, what's good, G? You just creeped in here. Your college president makes you 6 times as much. Your college president made 6 times as much as you do. Well, dang, when you put it that way. Meanwhile, faculty pay hasn't kept pace with inflation. Meanwhile, faculty pay has not kept pace with inflation. All right, let's keep some in perspective. I see where we're going. Like your president, your faculty. What about staff? Staff deals. I understand. Hey, let me be clear. I understand everybody can't make a lot of money, but let's meet the minimum threshold a little bit, just a little bit. Let's meet that minimum threshold for people. Some people like, hey man, I know I go to the school, but like, I'ma just say it's a school, it's a college in Atlanta, man, and their pay is atrocious. They're really trying to pay employees like $35,000 a year. I'm just saying. G said, LOL, literally no one really cares about staff like at all. Like, like I'm making their schedule, recommended classes. Literally working with your student as like I'm not a counselor. I'm not a certified counselor, but I didn't even do the disclaimer. I'm not a certified counselor, but I'm over here being the ear for your student. People treat staff as dispensable. Very much so. We can replace you. We can get another one of you. And then when they see their numbers drop, then they're like, okay, maybe we did have a good little team right here, and then this was the drop of it. I think one thing that staff needs to realize in higher ed is like, if they all left at the same time, they could start something at the school. I'm just saying. Thanks for telling me now. I'm about to screen record the live without the... No, you ain't. I'm about to hurry up and see. She crazy. She said, yep, finna get him. I got him. That's all, folks. We got him. Hold on right quick. Because I jumped straight into it. I didn't want to... Did you hear that? That was pretty loud. A lot of schools have a decent amount of turnover, G said. They do. And it's real bad. It's real bad in colleges. Institutions, like university institutions. It's really bad there because some of them run it like a corporate structure. I heard it, probably a Mustang. Probably was a Mustang. Disclaimer: the videos presented here are for informational purposes only, and therefore, if you are to choose to attend the institution, please do your own research and consult with a specialist at the institution that you are interested in. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution during this live stream. Speaking on behalf of Creator, Henry is only speaking from his experience. Let's go. Again, had to get that out. All right, so this was posted by Adrian Liu, October 23rd, 2025. They're talking more about the Penn State University situation, right? But they're saying that Penn State University appears to be in the throes of a fiscal crisis. That's because college are corporations. Yes, there's going to be corporations. So like Georgia Tech, they're run like a corporation. I used to tell people I worked corporate when I was at Georgia Tech. I tell people, they're like, how was it? I've been trying to get in at Georgia Tech for years. And I'm like, if you want to work at Georgia Tech, I'm going to be honest with you. It's corporate structure. You don't have time to talk. You don't have time to do small talks. You don't have time to lollygag. Everything, every minute seems like it's time to make money, which is bad to say. But really snag a consumer, which is perceived as the student. We treat the students very like, not even exaggerating, like royalty. Students are treated like royalty at Georgia Tech. If anybody ever drives on Georgia Tech campus, you will know the students don't look both ways. They just cross the street. Like, you stop for me. Just saying. And so they have a little entitlement, just saying, I'm just giving you my perspective. And then G said, given Columbia is due, I don't believe Columbia behaved that way. Yeah, you talking about when you say Columbia behaving that way, G, are you talking about the internal side, like staff, faculty, or are you talking about the student side? Because I was talking about the students while you posted that. And so, schools like that, I haven't worked at I did interview at another place that was set up like corporate style. They're actually for profit, I believe. South College. You probably heard of it. them Georgia Tech prices will have you being entitled. You talking about like paying for the college? Internal for staff. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they pay really well at Georgia Tech. Like really well. They pay really well. Like it's that's why it's hard to get people to leave. Like Georgia Tech, hey, you feel like you got you a job at Google. You get a job at Georgia Tech, you feel like you didn't snatch you a Fortune 500 job. You don't want to go nowhere. And then, but also, I don't think that many students behave that entitled as well. Nah. Well, you talking about at Georgia Tech, right? We talking about Georgia Tech, G? Just hit me with a yeah, so I know to go forward. Why I look up South College because South College, I believe, is a for-profit. Yeah. I'm talking about those students are at the entitled to because at Georgia. Okay. Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure I'm following you right. Don't want to miss your words. Them prices is what I was talking about. Yeah, the Georgia Tech. Well, Georgia Tech has some decent prices though. Georgia Tech. If you don't stay on campus, they prices were not bad for the return on investment. At least last time I checked. Unless you know something I don't know. They prices seem pretty good, tuition wise. Not dormitory or meal plan wise. No, that's absurd. But they tuition prices for the caliber of the school. Not gonna lie, some people are. Nah, yeah, Georgia Tech is that school you see on TV, man. Like if you go watch a college movie, and you be like, "This is what college look like." Georgia Tech, they got it down to the T. The campus is lovely. Um, yeah, it's lovely. I really ain't got much bad to say about the campus because it's set up like a typical college campus. You see the frat houses, sorority houses, the organizations. Like it's everything you would want, right? And South College, guys. So South, I interviewed at this college. I probably would never work here, so I can talk about them. Their name is South College. You probably heard of it. It's in Knoxville, Tennessee. They are a private for-profit institution, and they are run strictly like corporate. I remember when I interviewed at this college, South College. I recommend you should not go there. Once again, if you've been watching us, they are private, for-profit university. So their prices are going to be absurd. And one student explained to me, like, if you don't get in at the way South College makes their money is the way they like students be like, if I get rejected at a school, South College has their door open for me. And I'm like, so how did they get you to go there? You knew their prices were crazy. Because students are like, it's kind of like if you're not patient as a student, you're going to get punished for it. That's how higher education move. If you're not patient, which really applies to everything else in life, but in higher education, you will feel the effects. If you're not patient on taking classes or really trying to maneuver yourself and plan things out, you will get burned at higher education by these for-profit institutions who always have their door open for you, but they're going to charge you their fee. So G said Columbia students are definitely pretty entitled. Okay. And then keep that in mind. In South College, what did you apply to do? So when I was at South College, not when I was at South College, when I applied to work at South College, I was applying to be an academic advisor. I was trying to be an academic advisor at the institution. Like in my job now, I'm an academic advisor. I'm really good at it. Of course, I got trained up. They even acknowledged that I was pretty advanced, which makes me argue on why it took me so long to work in higher education, G. Because I was trying to work as an academic advisor when I first graduated college. Maybe on my part, maybe because I didn't have enough connections in the industry. So it really teed me off. I could have been in the industry like 3 years before, but I had to wait like 3 years, dealing with some other crap before I can finally get in at 26. When I knew I was better than the people working there, because I was better than the people working there as advisors. Like wherever institution you was at, like I can do advising on a grad level. I can do advising at a university if I want to, but 2 years are just more at home, and like these students are actually getting good prices. So G said it only makes sense that a for-profit school definitely works as a corporation. Man, they had cubicles. When I went to interview with them, G, you might be mind blown by this. I had like a 2 to 3 hour interview with them, G, and I didn't get the job. Yes, they are going to see this on camera one day when it blows up. I don't care. I did a 2 to 3 hour interview with them, and they didn't even hire me. I said, "What just happened? What just happened?" And so, G said, I think 50% of students, if I'm not mistaken, pay full tuition, so they have been entitled their whole lives. LOL. I feel you, but now you put it on the masters, which makes you a more attractive candidate. Okay. And then I appreciate that, G. And G said some Columbia offices have cubicles. Yeah, some don't. Yeah, some do. Sometimes it's just more convenient instead of giving everybody an office, you know. Not gonna lie. And then G said that's corporate America in a nutshell, LOL. Really? Corporate do that? They do 2 hour interviews just to not hire someone? Let me know, G. That's crazy. That is wild. That's wild, bro. That's normal in corporate America? Man, sometimes multiple. Shit. Excuse my language. It is ridiculous. Oh no. Nah. As I would say in the chat to G, that's dead. That's dead. Dead. And then G said the kickers is that some roles they are not actually looking for candidates for. What? Oh, they on some different times. They on different. That's demon time. I'm sorry. They talk about people, you know, being on demon time, but that's demon time. So they really just wasting some people's time for real. Nah, for real, that's demon. That's real demon time because somebody could really be like telling another job, "Nah, I think I'm gonna get the job here," and they could be completely wrong. Man, nah, you crazy. It's a nah for me, dog. On American Idol, it's a nah for me, man. You know. So going back to Penn State, G said a lot of corporations put on that front to make it seem like they are growing for the sake of. Let me see. For this, it seem like they are growing for the sake to get funding and people to continue to invest. Yeah, because I just seen Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, the platform Instagram that I got kicked off and banned off of, and people be like, you should make another Instagram. I'm not going back to a platform that banned me and kicked me off. Not doing that. You know what it's gonna take? It's gonna take my YouTube community, like people like G saying you should make an Instagram again. It's gonna take that. We're not going back. I don't like going backwards in life. But Meta just laid off like 600 AI employees or something like that. I don't know. You heard about that, G? So that's interesting. That's interesting, right? Interesting. Huh. Okay. Okay. You got me thinking. It's really bad. And so, looking at this full article, if you wonder what I was looking at, yes, yeah, they do that all the time, hire to fire, so that the competition doesn't get them. Yup. Out here playing, and then G said the really big companies anyway. Yeah, really big ones, for sure. So they said right here about the Penn State University, y'all. While buyouts are fairly common in higher education, remember, guys, that's all related to higher education. But the pay makes it worth playing the game anyway. I guess it does. And so the pay, what I was gonna get at, that's related. So what me and Gigi had a conversation about, y'all, that happens in higher education. So for my higher professionals who should know that or don't know that, higher ed moves like a corporation. They say it don't, but it do. Your job is not safe. I remember hearing people at my old job at Georgia Tech say, I'm like, why? Because a lot of people during the pandemic, they went into higher ed when the pandemic happened. And I ain't say nothing. You know, you probably know, G mentions it, I'm pretty humble. But it's not really safe in higher ed. No job is safe. you know. And people think higher ed is a safe job because it's state fund. It's a state job. That's why they think it's safe. That kind of goes together. You think it's safe because it's state. You know, like it doesn't really work that way. Like literally, I can have my job could be gone tomorrow. Like even on the weekend, I could be losing my job. It's up, as I would say. It's all good. It's up. Like you already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just talk bad about y'all on the next live stream. If I lose my job the next day, I'm gonna video record everything. I'm that type of person sometimes. Only when necessary. And G said, yeah, I worked 3 years at the office and saw a lot of people come and go, which is crazy. At Columbia. They were safe until this administration. You were safe until this administration. Exactly. I'm glad. See, GB ears open. So we used to do it at JRTC. Ears open. And so one employee. Oh, this is so. Ooh, okay. So one employee whose livelihood. All right, so hold on. I skipped something. So Penn State University appears to be on the throes of fiscal crisis. Last year, 383. Last year, 383 employees at the university regional campuses took buyouts, right? Leaving some campuses severely understaffed and some offices entirely wiped out. In May, citing financial pressures and declining enrollments, the university announced it would, at the end of next academic year, close 7 regional campuses, which will likely result in layoffs. One employee whose livelihood has not been hurt through all the turmoil is President Nelly. Last month, the Board of Trustees citing, among other achievements, her ability to balance the budget and fundraising powerness. Not powerness, but powers. Help me out, G. That word. I think it's parole. Ain't that the word, G? Parole or something like that? It said it boosted Nelly base salary. Well, they boosted the President Nelly base salary by nearly 50%. Dang. Imagine getting a 50% raise, man. Imagine getting a 50% raise. Like, you think higher ed don't have money? And they out here dishing out 50% raises. Like, bro, it's so much money. Like, this live stream gotta work. It's so much of a market for the higher education that I'm mind blown that how much they got it, bro. G, do you think higher ed is a monopoly? Do you think higher ed is a monopoly, G? Let me know. I want to hear G perspective on this. Do you think higher ed is a monopoly, G? Like they have the money tied up. Not pro, but prouses. Prowess. That's that right? Prowess? Prowess? I'm gonna read your other comments too, G, while we go through this word. Prowses. So G said, he's running the image of Fed jobs, which is bad for the long term. Same with higher ed. 7 campuses is a lot anyway, if we honest, it is. And then, prouses. G said the second one when I'm pronouncing the word prouses. Okay. No, I don't think they are a monopoly. Okay, interesting. I thought you would say they were. I thought you would say higher education is monopoly. Then why you think it's so difficult to tap into the market of someone? Like I know people do consulting, people do like different forms of higher ed. I met a lot of people though. They're like really in higher ed. It's like consulting, grants. No, G still on this. No, proud. I got you, G. G, I love when we do this. G be like, no, it's. Hold on.
Prowess.
Huh?
Prowess.
Prowess?
Prowess.
That don't sound nothing like it, how it look.
Prowess. Prowess.
Prowess. That don't sound right, G. That don't sound right. It's an oligarchy is the word you are looking for. I said that, G. Oh. It scared me because G, I used to talk. G, hold on. Wait. Wait. The word don't look like it though, but I was telling my girl that it's an oligarchy. I said higher education is an oligarchy. I said that. And the only reason I learned about the word is Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and them was saying that America is leaning toward the oligarchy. And then I thought about it. I asked her, I said, what's an oligarchy? And then my girl was like, oligarchy is when like only certain people at the top have a certain amount of money. I said, that sounds like higher education. Because presidents, execs, and all blah 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 at the top make all the money, and the people on the bottom don't make anything. And then G said America is leaning toward an oligarchy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I was like, higher ed is an oligarchy. And then when I realized higher ed was an oligarchy, I ain't even gonna lie to you, it made me want to double down, triple down. And then when G be talking, my girl be talking, it be making me want to quadruple four down. It made me want to throw the four downs because, like, yo, so you're telling me that my money is pretty much, I'm gonna say this, my money is limited. My wealth is kind of limited if I stay in the higher ed. If I decide to stay in higher ed, I'm kind of limited unless I'm investing pretty good like I'm doing. But you're going to be, for a typical person, I would say, you're going to be very limited on making more money in higher ed because all the money is at the top. And they don't really plan on changing it. Why? Because I know it's a lot of people out there right now who work as university presidents, execs, board of regents, or at 2 years and 4 years, they don't really plan on changing their structure. Because going back to the beginning, y'all, I mentioned that higher ed doesn't really want to change. They hasn't, like, I would say the most change higher ed is doing right now is that Trump is forcing them to change. I put this on, I can put that on this cup right now in water, that the most they're changing is because of Trump. Like, I honestly think, like, you think about all the past administrations, I think they have literally been on the same wavelength until Trump has put pressure on them. Going to G. G said, what you are saying is just corporate America. Universities are acting more and more like corporations. Oligarchies are specifically more about power being concentrated in the hands of a few. And then G said, I think that part is what makes more like an oligarchy. They too few won't let industry change. The top few. Yeah, they won't let it change, man. Because like we said, you know, like I keep it simple, guys. I keep it relatable and simple. I'm not going to keep coming at you with new facts unless necessary. But like I said, the Higher Education Act has not been updated since 07 and 08, or whichever one. And you think about the past administration before that, you didn't update it. That thing had been updated probably since Obama, if I think. Because Obama became president when I was little. But I think the last time it was updated because of him. So it's 2025. That's almost 20 years ago. 2008, 2007. Almost 20 years ago, 21 years ago, 19 years ago. That's too long. And so it's important because you're still going back to what we usually do. When we get new people in here, why it's important for you, if you happen to skip it to the end, it's important for you guys because, like, you're trying to do the traditional pathway to college, and the traditional pathway to college is not the way to go to college. It sounds really confusing, but it's really straightforward. The traditional way to go to college. So what I'm saying is, if you start at a university fresh out of college and do all 4 years at a university, you are actually doing this the wrong way to go to college and save money in college. Yes. And then you're even going to make it worse on yourself is that if you do the first 4 years of college and then you say, I'm about to go get a house. I'm not saying every person is like that because some people's situations are different, but I'm saying the majority is like that. I'm speaking on behalf of the majority. You see what I did there, G? I'm speaking on behalf of the majority. And so, yes, when you think you're doing it right, you're really doing it wrong. And they're laughing at you. Coming from a person in higher ed, they're laughing at you. G said, hello, I did see what you did there. You see what I did there? They're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. As G said, The problem is more and more people are getting degrees and not enough jobs, which is scam essentially, right? G, which is a scam, right? And then G said, so a lot of people end up in a lot of debt, right? And G said, hello, I did see what you did there. And then G said, the traditional path is a path to long-term debt. Exactly. Kind of like, as we, G, we talk about the videos and stuff, kind of like the video says. And it's never been more important for you to be like, let me sit back and be like, what college should I go to? And then if I do go to a college, does it matter if I go to this college or not? Because like, as I like to say, I like to use teachers as an example that like if you're going to school for what I did, higher education, you don't need to go to the biggest and best school for higher education. If you're going to be like, oh, I want to do what you did, Henry, you don't need to go to the top-notch academic school. Why? Because politics are so rooted in my career field that the only way you're going to make real change is like you can work in higher education as an academic advisor for a few years, and then you start making your way up, you're going to be in politics. So I would tell you to major in political science, but then when you go for your, like, I would say majoring, go to 2 years, start at 2 year. Then I would say probably you should major in political science if you don't know how to politic, but do something like accounting. Do something that's like, don't do political science actually. Do something like accounting. Do something that's tangible. Do something like technology. Do something that could be safe. But nothing is really safe in life. Nothing is 100% guaranteed. But do something that can make you money. Because it's plenty of people right now in higher education, guys, who don't have higher education degrees. Hey, you better not let me out, YouTube, because we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a real problem if you do. We'll have a real problem. Don't play with me. So G said, how money works, the YouTube channel, has another video about AI is about to take out middle management. That's a new video? I can't wait till we set it up, G, where we can be looking at clips of the videos that we talking about, and we can show them and how it applies to higher education. That's going to be dope, right? That's going to be dope. I can't wait to do that and how it applies to higher education. So now I could be like, this is what I would do if I was a college student. That's going to be pretty dope during the live stream. That's going to be dope. Yeah, got them ideas coming, G. Got them ideas coming. And so, yeah, it's a new video that will be dope. And so I just really want y'all to understand, man. I know I go on them tangents about that. I know but you really have to like keep that in mind. Like it's really like, G, did I tell you the story like when I was did I ever tell you like when I'm gonna be honest with you. Can I be real? G, answer this question real quick. I know you're gonna be like, yeah, probably, but can I be real with you, G? Can I be real with you real quick? Let me know. Can I be real with you real quick, G? Let me know in the chat. G say no. Yeah. Okay. G say yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep it real. Hey, G. Pause. And so, when I stepped into graduate school, man, I ain't even gonna lie to you. This for everybody who think they doing better than somebody. It sound like a song. This for everybody who think they doing better than somebody just because they're the 2 year. I don't care nobody be like, oh, we don't look at it. No, you look at it that way. So when I when I'm a graduate student, but when I was like in my early stages as a graduate student, going to the library at Georgia State, he said you about to say LOL now. When I was going to the library at Georgia State, me and my girlfriend, because I walk her to class because it's not really safe at Georgia State per se. Walking around the campus, man, it blends in with the homelessness. I know everybody should know that Atlanta, a city, has a lot of homelessness, and when I used to walk her to class, I just felt more comfortable walking her to class. Like I would literally switch my schedule at work, just walking her to class. And so when I used to see the students there, undergraduate, not graduate, undergraduate, they weren't focused like I was. Now, people say, I don't like when people try to make excuses on how I'm different from typical students because I didn't get into a university fresh out of college because of test scores. Feel free to jump in, G. I didn't get into universities because of test scores. It hurts my feelings because when I see these students who were perceived, I guess, better than me, that got into these schools because I don't know why. Because I don't know. Somebody need to come talk to us about that. I don't know. But I was so focused and locked in that they don't know that I was coming for them. I was coming for them. When I was a freshman at my community college and I realized I wanted to get a degree, I'm still like that. I was so really locked in, like, bro, I'm really about to like show you that your university is trash. You know, I'm really finna show you like you ain't really in the same lane as me, and I'm really finna get to you real quick doing my schoolwork. I'm about to really like bust my butt, learn how to invest too, and that I'm about to destroy you. That if they put me in a class with you, your professor gonna look at this institution weird as if how is this student not at a university? That's how I want to come, and that's what I do now. And so I try to tell students like, look, I was in college. As I talked to an English instructor at a training event, as they were saying, giving me like, make sure you bring back your pathos in there. So I'm bringing back in my pathos, ethos, pathos. So I'm bringing back in my pathos real quick. And so when I was an undergraduate, humbly speaking, respectfully, my mom would ask me for money. I think we all can relate to that, right, G? Parents ask for money or need help. Something they don't talk about in the studies of students going to college. My mom would need some dollars. I was sending money. I was helping my mom pay off her car. And I could get her on the phone when we switch cameras and say, Mom, did I help pay for your car? Help pay your car off? I sent my mom thousands of, like literally at a time, thousands. I can show you, matter of fact. I can take a screenshot. I sent thousands of dollars to my mama because I had found this recipe for you to make money while in college. And this was not even money out the stock market. This is just saving and living on less than I make and doing this strategically. That's how you have to be. That's what, see, I wasn't really going to college to have fun. Like that's like them saying, oh, when you would get grown, you need to have fun in your 20s. That's a myth. Just like when they say when you go to college, you need to have fun, do whatever. That's a myth. Run up the student loan, that's a myth. Stay on campus, that's a myth. MYTH. So G said, yeah, I feel you. They don't talk about it because the subset of students who go through this is really small, but it matters. Subset. Okay. That's the problem with poverty. Right. Hey, interestingly though, I was listening to Kodak in the interview. Kodak Black. So for some people who don't think, or don't know, I like Kodak Black. And so Kodak Black is very misunderstood, I feel like. And I feel like everything Kodak Black does is intentional. For his marketing, the crazy things people see on social media about him, I feel like it's all marketing. I met people like that in real life from that type of environment. It's like really he's very intelligent. So in a recent interview, Kodak was talking about going to college at I think he said Arizona State University. Kodak Black. Dude is crazy and fake crazy at the same time, LOL. Exactly, very much. And Kodak Black was talking about going to college at Arizona State University. And I think he said another school, but he was talking about getting his college education. And I know he's gonna get his college education. Cause the things he say, yeah, like G said, he said he just act like that on purpose though. When he said that, I didn't even know he said that. So I be trying to get interviews on him, man. You gotta really go to these YouTubers to get interviews on him. They get more interviews than the industry. So it'd be hard for me to like find interviews with him unless they mention his name. And so he was saying that he really want to like go to college. Not really. He planned on going to college, and so I think like, oh, that's dope. Okay, I'm like, okay. I was waiting for him to say it because in his songs he was like he used to win a lot of spelling bees, and then the words he used, I feel like his mom, cause he's a Haitian. I feel like his mom used to make him read a lot when he was younger. He seemed like he's a heavy reader by his terminologies because the words he was using at 19, 18, 20ish. I'm thinking about because when I was that age, I wasn't using them words. And so unless he got like a ghostwriter or something, I wasn't using them words. And so G said, yeah, he did an interview one time exactly. It was a YouTube interview. It was a 20v1 he did where people thought he really lost his marbles. We know you were yeah. We know you weren't, LOL. Like, man, yeah. Hey, man, well, my wordplay at 19 or 20. Nah, my wordplay at 19 or 20 was so, like, that's when I started picking up words like ponder. What's another word I was learning at that time? My wordplay just started getting pretty good. I know you just teasing, G, but it really just started getting pretty good, though. It really just started. Then I learned and I started reading these taking communication classes. Yes, I took communication classes. And then they started saying, look, you just need to keep stuff simple for people. And then you need to use certain words depending on your audience. And I was like, oh, I see you. So when I'm speaking to a higher education audience, I need to show up my terminology because they understand. But when I'm talking to people like parents and students who don't know, I got to keep it simple terminology. Communication 101. Exactly. So, yeah, man, I know we went on that little. Oh, G said something else. Exactly. I might have to get a shirt that says exactly because I'd be like, exactly. I ain't done with Penn State. Penn State probably thought I forgot. Penn State probably think we forgot about them. We ain't forget about Penn State. We did not forget about Penn State. Where it at? We didn't forget about Penn State. And so, real quick. So, remember we had just said the P. Penn State University pushing P. G, what does pushing P mean? What does pushing P mean? That looks pilly. I did not put chapstick on, G. If I did this live screen. So, y'all just like to see me play with my looks real quick. I don't know what pushing P mean, G. I really don't. What does it mean? I really don't know what pushing P mean. I really don't. I just know it was a popular song. I really do. That's all I know. That's all I know. I don't know what pushing P mean. So, YG helps us know what pushing P. I really don't know. And so, hopefully we can get some of those people who trying to go to college with these terms that I'm putting in there and sprinkling. According to the future, it's pushing positivity. Okay. Oh, according to future. I thought you said according to the future. Brain fart. Had a brain fart. Well, according to his lawyer anyway, LOL. Oh, okay. So, we did talk about the president making getting a 50% pay increase. So at Penn State, remember we said the president getting a 50% pay increase. At Penn State main campus in University Park, remember we talked about that a little bit earlier in the live stream. The average pay for professors in 2023 was $113,000, an increase of 27%, an increase of 27% from a decade earlier. And then right here, it elaborates a lot more. So Andrea Adolph, she got the same name as Young Dolph. Interesting. I think his first name was Adolph. RIP to Young Dolph. But his name was Adolph, I believe. Let me look it up. Young Dolph. I think it was Adolph. Young Dolph. Yeah. Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. Yeah, that was, yeah. That's how you got named Young Dolph. Yeah. Interesting. So Andrea Adolph, an associate professor of English at Penn State University, or at Penn State at New Kingston, one of the regional campuses that will soon be closed, said that she has had. She said that. Hold on. What did she say? One of the regional campuses will soon be closed. We said, but it said that as she and her colleagues fret, fret about the prospect of unemployment, and students worry about they will complete their degrees. She found Nelly pay raise. Oh. Got some beef, boy. I'm telling y'all, man, ain't no beef like higher education beef. I don't care what nobody says. Higher education, we got drama. We got plenty of it. AG, we got plenty of it. We got plenty of it. I'm telling you. Hey, check that out, G. Oh, check that out. What the word obscene? The associate professor said she found the president's pay obscene. Oh my. Obscene. G said that's real, ain't it? Organic space. Hey, we need to get her on the channel. She don't care. Hey, we need to get her on the channel. Hey, I heard what you said to the Chronicles of Higher Education. You wanna elaborate on that? Hey.
Obscene.
A portrayal in the offensive or disgusting. Oh wow. Interesting. She might get on. Hey, she might. And then it said right here that it's hard to believe the notion that Penn State is, quotations, in some kind of crazy budget crisis, Adolph said, quotation, when they want to load all this money up into her compensation. Bruh, that's what I say all the time. And they try to downplay it. They try to downplay it every time. They try to downplay it every time. They try to downplay me. Like, oh, we got to pay for other budgets and da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro, who y'all think y'all running on? Do y'all think I'm green, bro? Do y'all think I'm green right now? Like, you know, like, you think I don't know that what y'all doing? Like, bro, I can see through y'all. Like, come on now. So Penn State Communications Office confirmed the details of Nelly contract, but did not have any additional comment. Guys, I'm telling you, students, when your pay keeps going up in college, as my boy G said, education is a commodity. Got to get it on the shirt. Got to get G some royalties on that. Education is a commodity. Check it out. When they could be discounting your tuition, they raising pay to certain people. That's all I'm gonna say. And G said that is because they usually are not really in a crisis. It's just about maintaining existing metrics. What G said. Hey, looking at staff pay, check this out. Damn, wish you could see this, G, in the future. So, coming soon, actually, as I like to say, because when y'all see it, they'll be like, he said it. He said it. So, the pay, we already know this, guys, on the live stream, but the pay for presidents has been going up steadily, while faculty and staff, it has been staying stagnant for the last decade plus. And if somebody told, I'm pretty sure people told me, they're like, you should, people probably, you know, G, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you about my job, G, real quick. G said, buck your eyes, I could probably see it in the reflection. LOL. Oh, not you roasting. Not you roasting. She said, buck your eyes. They that big. Hey, check this out, though. So I went to a training, G. You remember me talking about yesterday how I went to a training for work, right? I went to a training for work. It was kind of like a conference-style training, right? It was an all-day event. Yeah, it was an all-day event. Tell me why these folks told us we on our own for lunch. Not even gonna disclose the school name because the school is pretty good. It's really good, but they said y'all on y'all own for lunch. I said they gonna have us there all day and they ain't gonna feed us. I said, dang. I was like, dang, bro, that's crazy. That's treacherous right there. That's treacherous. I can't stand that kind of stuff, but Columbia would never. No. See, schools like that, nah, they gonna treat you with some class. Schools like that gonna treat you with class. Hey, pros and cons of working at a 2-year college. I would say the college, man, compared to working at Georgia Tech, it's a lot smoother. Like, I can do schoolwork. I don't have much complaints about it at all, like most people do. They should probably figure that out. That's not my job to figure out. But I ain't got no complaints. I can get my break. I can get stuff done at work. I can get stuff done. Outside things in my personal life, plan more things, be a little more balanced for this. So I ain't got no complaints. Most of the time I'll be missing live streams because of school. So we gonna be straight, G. On school, hey, we gonna be straight. They gonna be like, oh he tapped in. It's over with. And then as we keep going, this is interesting. It says, as colleges, it's pretty flexible. That is good to hear. Yeah, it's really flexible. And then it says, as colleges implement layoffs and pay freezes to close budget gaps, presidents' ever-growing salaries stand out even more, serve as a point of contention, why they put that word like that? It stands out as a point of contention, or it serves as a point of contention, and erode morale among the rank and file. That's what I wanted to say. But since I butchered that sentence, there you go, G. And then it says right here, James Finkelstein, Professor Emeritus of Public Policy at George Mason University. Is George Mason University a good college, G? I've been hearing about George Mason University a lot lately. Is that a pretty good college? Let me know before we keep going. Let me know, G. Because I hear a lot about George Mason University. Yeah, it's all right. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I heard about that college earlier in my career, like early in my college journey. Never thought too much of it, though. But not really. But not, like, really good. That's why I love you, G. You always keep it real. I love that. You don't have no bias in you. Except for Columbia. That's your only bias. Columbia. That's your only bias. And then Georgetown, George Washington, way better. And then George Mason University has reviewed more than 300 college. Oh wow! So James Finkelstein, professor emeritus, if I say that, of public policy at George Mason University, has reviewed more than 300 college presidents' contracts since 2010. He notes several factors contributing to the growth in presidential compensation. For example, almost all presidential searches today involve search firms, where areas in 1975 only to 2 to 3% of searches did. Search firms often have an incentive to promote a candidate who can earn a higher salary, since many are paid on a contingency basis, typically receiving a third of a new president's salary and bonuses in their first year. Presidents are also often represented by lawyers skilled at negotiating contracts. That's wild. I didn't know that. So presidents have lawyers who negotiate their contracts. So it says another factor Finkelstein said is that the types of people serving on governing boards of university have changed over the past 20 to 30 years. For sure. 20, 30 years ago, I'm going to keep reading. A generation ago, board members typically had ties to the institution. They were largely alumni and people who lived in the local community, which is true. Which nowadays, your typical board of a college or a university or a two-year college is somebody who is at a university is probably somebody who's a Fortune 500 person who plans on being in politics once they transition from that Fortune 500 company, depending on the type of university. If it's a smaller university, it's probably I'm gonna say like top dog business woman, businessman on the board of the college, and they don't know anything about the community. They don't know anything about higher ed. And then they wonder why like G said earlier, they wonder why universities are turning into corporations. And it's because business people are bringing in their business corporation mentality into the governing of the board. The board is more powerful than anything, guys. The board is like the king of the chessboard. And I don't even play chess. And then your president at the universities are like the pawns. They're not even queens. They would be like pawns. Would you say presidents are like pawns, G? Like colleges, presidents are like the pawns? I would think they're the pawns because they're just carrying out and saying whatever the board wants them to do. Because if they go against the board, unless they got strong ties where they had their coalitions, they formed some other powerful other pieces who can back them up, the president is essentially a pawn. I'm giving y'all some political, cultural game. A little bit. Just a little. No, they get the most benefit. They get the most benefit. The president, I feel like the president, that's what makes them the pawn, because they get the most benefit. But the board does have the final say. Yes. So a president can have a great idea. We just having conversation, guys. The board can have the final idea. Not final idea. The president can have an idea, but it has to, like you said, it has to go to the board. And then the board don't like it. They get the relationships and the money. They do get the relationships and the money, which is why a lot of presidents who come from, which is way more powerful. I love that perspective, G. I really do. I love that perspective. G is right. They get relationships. We know they get the money. They get the relationships and the money. So like we said, that's going to bluster them to step into politics. Like if you look at it, I would say, and G said, that is why people go to becoming president from other positions. Right. Because once they do that, exactly. Yeah, G agreeing with me. Yeah, because I guarantee you look at any typical college president, guys, sometimes they do it backwards. Sometimes when they realize they can't win, I wouldn't be surprised if Kamala Harris became a president at a college. I wouldn't be surprised, guys. But she's too high ranking, so that's not a good example. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody who is like inside politics, but they knew they couldn't really win at certain times. So they went into the community and became like a president of a college. And then, like G said, made those relationships because some presidents travel. They travel to different states, which lets them like look, interact with people, get to know people, like G said. And then shoot, next thing you know, you looking up this, you probably like, where this president come from? You probably like, where this president came from, or not president, but where this person come from, because they know a lot of people. I think it's very strategic. I can't doubt it. But G said, Bollinger got to meet several heads of states as president of Colombia. Powerful, dope. He got to meet several heads. Dang. And then as well as, I'm sure, plenty of other backroom places, right? Loving this information. And then G said, and getting people to park billions of dollars into a university is a really good skill. Yes, because at the end of the day, guys, like, it's a mixed review. It's a very open topic discussion. That's why, guys, like G said, that's why I think G loves, one of the reasons why G loved the live stream, because this is just some things that you might not think is important, but it's really important. It's really important. It factors you. It hurts you. Even though you don't know it hurts you as a student and you plan on going to college. Because some people think like, all right, if you do want to, I'm going to help some people out real quick. If you do want to go to a university, per se, like, let's say you want to go to the school G want to go to, because I love using Columbia as an example. If you want to go to Columbia Ivy, now, I'm going to say this other school. I'm going to say this school right here, who gets free advertisement. If you want to go to Georgia Tech, per se, let me tell you how this works. If people don't know who you are or have an idea of knowing who you are, your kid will not get into a certain school. But if they have an idea and know who you are, let's say like a big time celebrity, I'm not gonna say a name, XYZ celebrity, if that school is not aware of that celebrity, if they are not, I really like channels when they have interesting conversations. Oh, okay. Appreciate that. That's good. That means I'm keeping your attention, because you got that brain. You got that advanced creative brain. So I feel pretty good when you tell me that. G. And so if you got XYZ celebrity, or let's say they not known. Let's say they're an unknown celebrity, because you can have unknown celebrities. Let's say they're unknown, and their kid didn't get into Georgia Tech. Their child was this XYZ celebrity who's unknown. Their child was a very good student, went to good schools, blah, 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 blah. But we don't know your kid. So your kid will not, get into Georgia Tech. They denied your kid. And you an XYZ celebrity, or you pretty known in some places, right? You can be independent and be known, though, in certain places. It's important for you to network with the right people so your kid can get into Georgia Tech. G said, would never happen, LOL, if they know who you are. All right. G, it's people out here who don't know who, I'm not going to say Taylor Swift, because everybody knows Taylor Swift. But it's people, they want that potential donation, LOL. Yeah, but let's think about somebody who is like, not Taylor, for example. Everybody know Taylor. But let's think of somebody like, if they are canceled, then maybe, I guess. Let's think about somebody like, I'm gonna go to UGA Noble Alumni, because UGA always is on my mind for some reason. Let's say somebody doesn't know who. All right, G. I'm sure Harvard would do the same, but only if the child is decently smart. So, decently smart. G, do you know who Ernie Johnson? Do you know who Ernie Johnson Jr. is? Let me know. Let's see if G say yeah or no. As I wait. Nope. So G works in admissions. G doesn't know who that is. But where this could get a little, now you might think they don't do this, but it's an idea. He said, I know Weenie Johnson. So Ernie Johnson Jr. is an NBA analyst, commentator, and very good dude, very great dude. And if let me just say, if I work in admissions, I mean Ernie Johnson, his father. What? His father? Who his father is? Oh wow. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna keep going. Before I get into that dialogue, hold on real quick. He was. I'm looking at it now, G. I'm trying to figure out how you know that. So somebody might say, like, let's say Ernie Johnson Jr., let's say his kid was applying to another school somewhere else, right? The only reason somebody would know about Ernie Johnson Jr. is because, or know about, really, I guess his kid is possibly the last name. But let's just say the person is not aware of sports, the person doesn't follow sports, and the kid gets the nod. Now, Ernie Johnson Jr. realizes his potential power, his potential status of power, for example, right? And he makes a call to the right person, right? I wouldn't really say he was a celebrity anyway, to be honest. But you get the gist of it. He's pretty known. And then some people probably wonder, like, he's going to make a phone call to the potential person, right? Hopefully if he has a connection with that person at the school, that potential person at the school is going to go down to whoever does the you get in and don't get in. And they're going to say, why the student didn't get in? And they might say, well, you know who that is, right? And then they might say, no. And they might say, da, 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 have they little whatever, whatever. And then the student end up getting in. I'm just saying, I see how that can go. Because it's a person. My teacher told me Harvard takes recommendations really seriously. Yes. And sometimes, like G said, hey, they going to want the potential dollars. And Ernie is a TNT sports commentator. And his dad, apparently he's a legacy. His dad was a baseball player. So you know he's sitting on a good amount of wealth. So if Harvard does it, then I'm sure other schools do it. And sometimes schools, and sometimes it's not even recommendations, though. It's like, you know, like sometimes, like you said, G, some of these students don't even be qualified, you know, like, which is taking an opportunity from another student, like we talk about sometimes. And yeah, you know, it's yeah. And G said, my teacher went to Harvard, by the way. You're a teacher. Yo, K through 12 teacher? Interesting. So so how you know about Ernie Johnson? I didn't even know Ernie Johnson, his father. I didn't even know his father was his Major League Baseball player. And told me I should have got him to write me a recommendation. You want to know something? When I was in high school, I didn't even know about recommendations. I didn't even know about getting recommendations from instructors. From teachers in K through 12. My teacher, actually, I think it was my junior year. Yeah, my junior year teacher in high school, he went to the University of Alabama. He was real strict. He was real strict with that writing. He was an English teacher. He went to the University of Alabama. And then G said Harvard was one of the 2 schools I was rejected from. Dang. I appreciate you being open about that. And then G said my gifted education teacher, interestingly enough. And I kind of know baseball. Did you ever play baseball, G? You ever play baseball coming up? I know baseball too, but I'll be honest with you, I never did into the history of baseball. I just like playing it. Baseball is baseball is the funnest sport I played, actually. It is the funnest sport. It's more fun than basketball. Because basketball was just like, man, basketball just never had no chill, man. And baseball had chill when I was playing it. G said, nope, I'm more of a history buff. Interesting. My grandfather was really into it. That's cool. Appreciate that. I appreciate you being open about that. That's dope. Tell your grandfather thank you. Because, yeah, that's dope, man. I love when people tell me their stories like that. It's interesting. Which helps me a lot too, G. When we be on the channel, that helps me a lot. And so I played coming up. I think I mentioned that. I played coming up. I stopped playing when I got to high school because my high school team wasn't that good at baseball. Ooh, awful. We used to get beat like 15-1. And I'm used to being on the other side of that, beating teams like 15-1 and stuff. And it don't feel good. In baseball, it's one of the worst feelings ever for anybody. And when you just see a team keep hitting, like, that's the real meaning of consistency. If I had to build out a baseball team, I would just have consistent hitters. I'll probably have a few power hitters, but mostly consistent hitters, which is the whole goal. And then in strategic planning is more of it too. My cousin played, he was all right. He probably was way better than me. I know he was way better than me. I stopped freshman year of high school. So shout out to him. It's a very peaceful game, man. Very peaceful game. Baseball is essentially the same as playing golf. I never played golf, but baseball is similar to golf. It's very like, well, besides my folks, he only played till about 10th. Okay. Because golf, well, you know, baseball with Savannah Bananas. We used to call it Savannah Bananas, but the baseball team, I forgot their name. What's that baseball team, man? They yellow. They be doing all. They're like the Globe Charters of baseball. They're like the Globe Charters of baseball. He played junior league though. Dope. What's that Globe Charter of baseball, man? Damn, what's their name? I'm gonna say Savannah Bananas. I'm gonna just say that. I think they're called the Savannah Bananas. Is that their name? Yeah, it is Savannah Bananas, right? That's their name, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Savannah Bananas, man, I remember before they blew up, because I was at Valdosta. They blowing up now. But when I was in Valdosta back in 2021, I never went to one of these, and I wanted to go. I should have went. I didn't go because I was like working. You know how you working? I was closed-minded a little bit on this. I should have went. Because, man, they be doing all kinds of tricks and all that, man. And, like, they trying to make baseball more fun, and it's working. It's really working if you don't like the normal type of baseball. And G said, my mother's really into baseball, too. Yeah, my TT is into sports, but she's into baseball heavy, too. She watches a lot of Braves games. She watches Atlanta Falcons, and she watches the Atlanta Hawks. And I can tell you now, my TT is going through it because I don't think Atlanta team has ever won a championship since she's been probably back then. But in my lifetime of watching her, in my time of watching my TT be an Atlanta fan, I never seen Atlanta win a championship or nothing. Because the time they did go, a little education here. The time they did go, LeBron took them out himself. Oh, the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Falcons choked really bad. I think we all know about that. And then, you know, Atlanta's Atlanta. Oh, the Braves. Braves won a championship. World Series. See, I knew I was going to make my way. The Atlanta Braves won a championship. Everybody need to take note how the Atlanta Braves won a championship. And then G said, yeah, she loves the Braves. That's dope, man. See, look, common ground. Common ground, man. Common ground. And so, off that tangent that we went on with sports, that's pretty much about Penn State University. They're upset that they're getting paid a certain amount of money. They're upset that the president is getting paid a certain amount of money. And it's reassurance that we're not tripping, that Educators, faculty are wondering the same thing I'm wondering, which is corrupt structure to say that you're paying these presidents and executives top of the line dollars, but you're not treating your people who are like little below them. And I'm gonna check out that video you mentioned 2G. And so I think that's everything. I think that's everything really. Because most people don't really make it. I don't think most people make it to the end of my stream anyway. So that's why I kind of saved like the chit chat for the end a little bit. Anything you want to say, G, before we go? Anything you want to say? Penn State is huge, which puts it into perspective. Yeah, and that's why I think they're shrinking their college a little bit at Penn State. They're trying to make it more close-knit. You always be chit-chatting. Yeah, we got chit-chat because, you know, days when we got more people asking questions, trying to get information about higher ed. We ain't going to have these chit-chat days no more, G. And then, you know, so enjoy them. We enjoy them. And I did mention though, G, they probably got a lot of unused space. They probably do. And they probably was teleworking and stuff. And I did mention Dan Niles went to Penn State, right? I did mention that, right, G? I did mention that, right? Dan Niles, he went to Penn State. Because I watched Dan Niles a lot, too. I listened to Dan Niles. He was one of the reasons why. Dan Niles was one of the reasons why I went all in on Palantir at the time. For most people who don't know who Dan Niles is, it's crazy they got Dan Niles as a internet personality person, and it's interesting. It's interesting, and I know he went to Penn State because he reps it on LinkedIn. FYI, everybody, a lot of people are on LinkedIn who make a lot of money, by the way, who give out stock advice and everything. So I think LinkedIn is underrated. G, what you think about LinkedIn? And I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing for the weekend too. I seen that comment too, G. And so G said, don't remember, but Key from Key and Peele's did. Really? I didn't know that. I did not. Oh, Keen. I didn't know he went to Penn State. Oh, he did. I didn't know that. I didn't know he went to Penn State University. He did. Oh, that's why he did that little. They just got rid of that coach, that university coach too. I didn't know he went there. That's interesting. Did not know that. Yeah, that dude right there, he different. Yeah. Keegan Michael Key. Yeah, he different. He different. I like his content. He different. And then G said, been to their main office in New York City. Pretty cool place. LinkedIn is, however, just corporate social media at this point. Yeah, that's why I post my abnormal content on there. Because LinkedIn is kind of going through a transition where we're kind of like, I would say, content creators. I know this guy, Joshua Flute, who digs into them. What you mean digs into them, G? He has a YouTube channel. Joshua Flute. What you mean like digs into them, G? Digs into Penn State? Oh, he does blunt rants about tech culture in Silicon Valley. He digs into LinkedIn and corporate America. Okay, I'll make sure I check him out. I'm looking at him right now, Joshua Luke. Okay, and okay, I got him too. And then G said, what? Make sure I answer everything. What you got planned for this weekend? His most recent is pretty funny, Joshua Flute. And then this weekend, I'm just doing This weekend, I plan on starting my paper. This is the 2,500 word paper. I don't think it's gonna take me long. I think I can knock it out in one full day. But due to that, because Saturday I gotta go to my nephew football game. I try to make it to one of his football games every year, and I gotta start making it to my other niece. They play who plays a sport. I gotta start making it to hers. Love all my niece and nephews, but I know I mentioned those two. One of my nieces, she graduated this year actually. She graduates. My niece, she graduates high school this year. I don't know. My niece graduated high school. So sad. I remember holding her. And then G said, when is the paper due? The paper is due. The paper is due. My research paper video presentation is due December 7th. Oh, my paper and my research paper video, they're due on the same day, December 7th. I'm way ahead of schedule. Yes, I'm way ahead of schedule. I try to do that. I try to stay ahead of schedule. And, yeah. I recently was talking to my classmates, too, about higher ed. Oh, and I plan on taking my dad out to eat, depending what time me and my girl get to Columbus. So if y'all find me, I'm in Columbus. FYI, disclaimer, be careful which side of town you come to in Columbus. I don't be on the nice side, or I don't be in the downtown nice part of Columbus. So, disclaimer. But, so my dad, I'm taking him, probably gonna take him to breakfast. He didn't call me back yet, so he probably be asleep. I'm taking him to breakfast or lunch, depending on what time I get there. G said, who looking for you, LOL? Nobody, hopefully, but just in case, you never know, G, you might be looking for me. And so G said, I was one of those people too. People thought I was crazy. Yeah, people think you crazy because we working in advance, starting on the paper. G said, I'll come to Atlanta. How you know I'm in Atlanta, G? How you know I'm in Atlanta? Maybe I'm in New York, G. Maybe I moved to New York. Maybe I'm in New York. Maybe I'm in Florida. You know? G, like, I know yet. G, like, I know yet. So, yeah, that's my weekend in a nutshell, man. And then, yeah, that's my weekend in a nutshell. And I guess I'll talk about stocks real quick. I know you're probably wondering. Let's talk about stocks. So I got into app 11 play. Let me not say not options, not yet, not options. But I got into app 11. I've been trading app 11, swing trading, just regular trading. I got in at app 11 at 575, and I sold it like at 626 today. I got in yesterday though and sold it at 626 today. So yeah. And then I sold out of the other app 11. That wasn't much. It was like 2% on that one. I was in that one at 609. I got out of that at like 620. And then right now I'm in two other things. I like to say afterwards because then it's like I already did it. And I'm going all in on this company, G. Have you heard of this YouTuber, G? His name is Amit. Okay. Have you heard of him? I do not know how to pronounce his last. I do not know how to pronounce his last name, G. Before we go, that's his last name. Yeah. You watch him? Yeah, you watch him? Oops, beat you. You did beat me. Yeah, you did. You watch him? Before we go real quick. No, but I know who he is. Yeah, I watch him though, man. And so he's talking about this company. So if you watch him, you'll realize he's gonna talk about one of the companies he's like all in on. He's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. His first two was pretty good. And then so I'm all in on that company though. I'm all in on that company, G. All in. Still buying shares of it, G. Still buying shares of it. Still buying shares of it, G. Still buying shares of it. You follow his lead usually. I didn't follow his lead on. I didn't follow his lead on Robinhood because what Robinhood did to people during that GameStop meme. Nah, hey, on this company, yeah, but the Palantir one, I found Palantir. Wait, I can show you how I found Palantir, G. I don't want you thinking I'm a fraud. I'm gonna show you how I found Palantir. Hold on. Just for you, G, on this live screen, I'm gonna get this book for you real quick. Well, I can't really get it the way I got it set up back here, but I'm gonna get it. Oh, I'll show you this too. That's a picture of my dad when I was a baby. That's him holding me. Got a chocolate dad. And then, oh. Books collected dust a little bit. G said, hello, I appreciate that effort. You see, I had to go through a whole struggle back here. And then I'm reading a little history too. I'm reading a few little history things I picked up when I was driving back from my drill. I picked up these. Now, these might be a little biased, but I've been trying to get some insights on stuff. Not getting deep. Just a little bit, man. Showing you some pathos. And then this book right here, though, this will help me discover Palantir. I read this book back in 2021. I read this book in 2021 before the stock took off. This book right here, 0 to 1. It hurt in my head. This was the company. This was the book. And so I think YouTube heard me talking about it. Not YouTube, my phone. I think my phone heard me talking about it, of course. And so they recommended his YouTube channel to me. And so it just went from there. And I was like, oh, he know what he talking about. Because I don't do that. I don't like following. I think it's still figuring out people showing their. I think is it weird to you that when people show their portfolios while they're live streaming or they show you how much they made in the stock market? Do you like that, G, or you don't like that? You like that? Let me know. I don't know. It makes me a little weary. Spot for y'all. G said, I think it's cool. Okay. Because I know we in different times right now, so I just be wondering. Everything fall. I will fix that later. Fix it later. But they have motives, right? Everyone does. Yeah, everyone does have motives. Yeah. All right. We got 3 minutes till we get to 10:30. 10:30. Well, I guess 10:45. 1 hour and 45 minutes looks pretty good. So, yeah. So, I probably won't mention the company. I saw a video on the ARK investment, Kathy Woods, I think. What video you saw, G, of Kathy Woods? Kathy Woods, I get mixed reviews about Kathy. People say Kathy don't know how to invest, but I don't know her strategy, so I don't know if she does or she doesn't, personally. So what they talked about with Kathy though, G, I know you say you saw a video on the, what was the video? I watch Kathy stuff sometimes, but Kathy got her own YouTube channel where Kathy making money. Kathy be on that money. But what you saw, G, unless you type it, there you go. G said, where she gets called out, that is why I brought it up. That's the part of her script. Where she gets called out, that is why I brought it up. That's part of her strategy. He said when she gets called out. So you saying like she don't know what she doing? telling people to convince herself and the market to move. Telling people to convince. You have heard of Jake Tran? Nah, I never heard Jake Tran. Let me look him up. So Jake Tran, he said he makes documentaries on money, power, war, and crime. Okay, I'll check him out. Oh, he one of those types. Okay. Oh wow, I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna check this out since you recommended it, G. Appreciate that. It was interesting. I never heard of him. It's crazy how some YouTube channels don't come your way. Ain't that crazy? Or my He did a video. He did a video on Kathy a while back, and then he said she kind of invests and just says you should too when she wants things to be a slam dunk. No such thing as slam dunks in the stock market. No such thing. And then I have been putting you on, LOL. You've been putting me on like how money works. I like how money works. I really did like how money works. I gotta watch more of their videos. And then that one looks interesting too. But you wanna know why I haven't been watching those type of things though, G? It's because I've been in college. And you probably know that. Well, you probably had time. You probably the type that still watch stuff while you in college. But I try not to watch stuff while I'm in college because I will keep watching it and I keep watching it. So I try to like focus a little bit. And then Jake Tran is like a how money and power works. Yeah, which is very helpful. That's gonna help me. Because we was really into it. This is the real knowledge, LOL. G said this is the real knowledge. You talking about Jake Tran, or you talking about everybody you been like feeding me? And so he talks about colleges too. Okay. Because my professor, she was talking about the statuses of power. It was very interesting. She actually is on YouTube as well. But, you know, her content is not like... Her information is amazing. But, you know, most content creators who... They just don't have the production to make it look good. Because a lot of that does play a role into it, making it look good. Because everybody doesn't want to just sit here and look at me one way. They want to see what I'm looking at. They want to see what I'm reading. So, but a lot of people don't know how to do that, which is interesting. G said, but I don't think you will like that video though. You talking about the one he talking about colleges? I'm gonna look. What's the name of that video that Jake Tran said about colleges? I'll actually watch it. I'm gonna actually watch it and let you know. I'm gonna let you know. Unless I find it. I'm on his YouTube channel right now. It said Jake Tran even talks about Ray Dalio. I don't think you would like this one either. Okay. Talks about Ray Dalio. And then it talks about you said colleges. It's one of his earlier videos. I'm about to name some. Okay. Let's go. Hit me with your best shot. Dun, 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 and then we'll leave. That's right on time with 10:35. Right on the head. Right on the head. Right on the head. Right on the head. I wish I could copy and paste with you both, but YouTube doesn't let me do that for safety, I guess. Kathy Wood video. How one? Oh, dang. You sure about that one? How Warren Buffett? You sure? That's crazy. You sure? Dang. That's all you got? That's all you got? Yeah, I thought you might not like that one either. That's why I did. You good, you good. All right. You good, G. Appreciate the conversation. G said one more. Okay. G said one more, and then we about to go. We about to go get some late night food. Me and the girl finna go get some pho. Finna go get some pho. So, yeah. Yeah. And why G give us the last one? G, you made me a better live streamer. I would say that. You made me a better live streamer. You helped me. It's amazing how live streams can actually educate you and teach you more as you're growing in that combination. Just gotta appreciate it. Take it in. Just gotta take it in. Gotta take it in. Gotta take it in. So while we wait on G is typing, looking for that video probably. I can't find it, but it's about the college being a scam. All right, I'll dig in it. And then I got Jake Tran's name. I appreciate that. I try. You do. You do, G. A beacon of light. Beacon of light, man. Beacon of light. Stay like that. Don't let nobody take it from you, man. And so we will be back Tuesday. I haven't been working out right now because the season's changed. I think I mentioned that. So I still stay on the same schedule though. Until I think the season officially here. But they've been messing up my gym stuff. That is the name. What's that? College being a scam. That's the name of it, G. And so we'll be on the same schedule next week. We should be. And then I will get G's perspective on should we do live streams during Thanksgiving. So G will let me know. If G says nay, if G says that we should, why don't you work out inside? I do, but my runs are outside. And usually around this time, so fun fact, usually around this time before we go, yeah, live stream as much as you can, you know. Okay. G said I should live stream during the Thanksgiving break. Okay. Watch hours, right? Watch hours. Live stream during holidays. Okay. Alright. You may get a few more hours too, right? Yeah, I should. We should. What's gonna be hard though? I would say this, G. That now that people have more time on their hand, yeah. I say what will be hard is you'll probably throw some recommendations too. I guess finding the higher ed topics. G said also I love pho and haven't had it in a long time. Oh man, yeah, G, you gotta, yeah, man, yeah, pho be here, man. Pho be here. It'd be hen. It'd be hen. It's probably like one of like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. If I knew a stock on the stock market that had it and it was like that, I would invest in it. If it was like the one we go to, yeah. And then before we go, I usually don't work out around this time either. When the seasons change, I normally don't work out around this time. I let my body rest. Usually when we go into October and winter, and then when that's over, I crank it back up. That's something I just started doing naturally, and so yeah. And then G said, "Where I'm at now, I kid you not, I have no idea where a restaurant that sells it." See, so you be bulking in? No, I don't be bulking. No, my body. If anything, I try to crank push-ups, but more like just I switch up the. It's kind of like changing speeds. So instead of like working out, content, reading, schoolwork, it's just like really, going more academically, and then just chilling, like doing some push-ups here and there. Um, you know, like that, just chilling out, reflecting before more like how people when they work too much they need a mental break. When I work out too much, need like more of a mental body break. That's a thing. I think it's a thing. So, or I go play basketball. Definitely playing basketball during the holidays helps, or like just doing basketball workouts. Yeah, like doing basketball workouts that helps because basketball works out certain parts of the body too. It makes me look like I'm working out, but I'm not. It's just the basketball workouts. So, but regular movement is good for you. Yes, for sure. Yeah. And so we gotta go, G. I appreciate you, G, because you're a busy person, G. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you, G, because I know you don't gotta sit here on this live screen. I really be sitting, G, and be like, why do G sit on this live screen and listen to me for like hours? Peace, chicken grease. I be like, why G sit on this live screen and listen to me? Why? I be like, G said I be working and talking. I don't know how you do that. That is an incredible skill. I be like, G, you really be sitting on this live screen talking? You kind of remind me of someone. That's crazy. Quick question, are they alive? Are they alive, G? Please be alive. G said you kind of remind me of someone. You're kind of interested sometimes, dude. I'm kind of interested sometimes. Hey, what you mean sometimes, though? What you mean sometimes? I'm not interested all the time. Why gotta be sometimes? I'm just playing. Just playing. JK. Okay, just making sure. But I ain't trying to boost your head up too much. I feel it. Yeah, you keep grinding though, G. And don't work too much over the weekend. Have some fun, G. Have some fun. Try to find you a fun place to go eat. Don't glaze it, but not overly. That's a bar. G with these bars though. Hey, G, you about just the same as me with these bars. But let me go, man. I'm gonna keep talking to G. Keep going. But I can't wait till you find me. I'm getting closer. I'm warm, like you said, warmer than you think. But for sure. Peace. LOL for real. See you. LOL, yeah. Cause yeah. Peace, chicken grease. See you Tuesday, hopefully, and let school take over. Peace, chicken grease.